What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. So sorry guys, I've been away since the update got released. Been feeling really under the weather and finally getting back into the swing of things. Feeling just a little bit better, but still got some lingering issues. So let's jump into this real quick and talk about Marvel Future Fight. So you can see from the trailer, I tried to warn you guys about leveling up Beta Ray Bill or Gladiator, specifically because I just did not expect that we were going to be done with the Annihilators, specifically when there are 5 members inside of the crew. So here we are with the Gladiator update. And we can see exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was just like a reskin of his old uniform and basically just a little bit updated there. So not a whole lot in terms of this. And to be honest with you, I don't think anybody really cares. Like, you know, it's a Gladiator a Ronan update. Like for real, like who's, you know, eking about that? So over on the Twitter, but it's a good sign of what's to come, which is potentially a tier 4 Silver Surfer. So you can see over here on Twitter sphere, Ronan or X, whatever they call it now, Ronan the Accuser returns to Marvel Future Fight with a new uniform along with his fellow Annihilators. So he only has one fellow Annihilator who has yet to be featured, and that's Silver Surfer. So you can see here the Accuser of the Kree Empire, who wields the Cosmi Rod, joins the Annihilators to prevent further massive conflicts. Check out the new looks and abilities of the powerful hero who protects Hala. So you can see here it says thank you, and it doesn't say update details to be later. So we're probably more than likely going to receive something. I'm kind of excited about the fact that we got this release on a Wednesday and it's now Thursday. Because that means that there's potential for 2 more updates. And so while Nova isn't necessarily a part of the he's not necessarily a part of the Annihilators, not in totality the way you would have just viewed the team outright. Ronan and Silver Surfer should be fulfilling out the rest of the team, but this is potentially good that we may see a Nova update inside here as well, because we could get a Nova sneak peek tonight and then maybe a Silver Surfer sneak peek on Friday to kind of finish out. But even if we don't and we just end up with a Silver Surfer, I think that's good news overall to be had. Now, my thoughts about the update so far, I'm excited more about the update because of the characters than I am what the potentiality of the characters has represented. Specifically, Wendell Vaughn should now be available in the event shop for most players. So if you've completed the event quest over the past 2 days, then essentially you can jump inside the game and you can get Wendell Vaughn. He's sitting in there for 50 of the event token shops, the Gladiator tokens that is inside there. You can purchase that, and then I hope that you have a mega upgrade ticket, a mega upgrade rank up ticket, or a tier 2 mega advancement ticket to work with the character, because otherwise your only way of getting additional bios for Wendell Vaughn is going to be conceivably jumping in and getting them from like the pay shop or whatever. The Gladiator Praetor's Gaze is inside the shop as well for 400, and then you know, you get the selector for the tier 4 artifact. Now here goes a real deal about the artifact. I think that it's probably not in your best interest to go after these artifacts, if I'm being 100% honest. Like, I didn't really see anything in particular about any of the new characters' artifacts that just kind of demanded that you get these characters. And should be truthful, from seeing the characters in play, the only character that has like a substantial value, I would say right now, is Beta Ray Bill. He just seems to be crushing World Boss characters from what I can see from other creators. Gladiator is probably a good to have just because in terms of combat he's going to be at the top of the rankings, but not like he's not doing anything inside ABX that's like extreme, you know what I mean? Like, it's not there. And then when you look at the rest of the list inside here, I hope to God that you got Madeline Pryor's in the previous update. The only other one that I could potentially see, you know, worth necessarily getting inside here would have been Rachel Summers. She has seen some play inside Otherworld Battle, but if you just don't care about PvP and you're just specifically looking for just characters that you could use inside PvE elements, then this is a good one. Overall, I don't think that this is bad at all necessarily, but it's kind of hit or miss where you're going with that, right? So essentially, I'll probably pick up the Wendell Vaughn, so that way I can level him up and get him to tier 3 and add new characters to the collection, so that way we can get him to transcendent, get his transcendence. Now, I think that this is overall going to be a good thing, and in terms of the update coming, just because I'm really hopeful that we're going to get Silver Surfer tier 4. It just makes no sense. But one of the other things that has basically come out is that due to this tier 4 upgrade support, some of the star creator members, specifically Beast Mode Gaming, go and check out his videos. Really great content creator, especially now he's back from his little hiatus from baby duty. But we get the tier 4 upgrade. Some of those star creators have been informed that there's potentially going to be some tier 4 content that is coming to the game that we probably maybe see in the mid-month, or we see next month. But there's tier 4 specific content, which is probably the reason why this was released inside of the game, which is pretty good. So I think one of the things missing from Marvel Future Fight specifically, I think they've done a good job with this, where essentially they've added in the way for us to get the tier 4s, and I think they've done a good job with the Shadowlands, basically as a way to be able to use your entire roster, but they haven't really given us a good way to use our roster. And a lot of that bears down onto the reward system. Like, Shadowland would be a great system if the rewards were really good, but at large they don't have any basically Shadowland is like a level 1 to 30, and then after I clear level 1 to 30, once you clear like the first level 270s, there's not a whole lot of reason for you to basically have repeat on Shadowlands. They really need to improve the rewards across the game mode, and I would really appreciate if they took some time to just basically come out with maybe 2 or 3 updates where the rewards inside missions gets improved. Even in the way that they introduce some of these characters, I think Danger Room Extreme and things like that would be really great ways for players to obtain artifacts and stuff like that. Danger Room Extreme was one of my favorite game modes because it did require, certain play aspects in terms of mixing PvP and PvE elements, and it was just absolutely fun, and it required tier 3 characters basically to jump in and play, and this could be something really good for T4 characters. So I'm really excited about maybe the potentiality of having that return, and maybe potentially giving that reward tier as being like a artifact selector or something like that. Something, especially as these artifacts continue to grow and increase, the numbers get diminished in terms of how your likability of getting a artifact that you actually want and need. So having the ability to put in tier 4, tier 5, or tier 6 selectors basically in a reward tier for a mode like Danger Room Extreme, and you jump inside that game mode and you can say, okay, well, at certain levels, maybe the top 50 players in each league get differently. So maybe at you get, Challenger, Vibranium, and then Platinum. So at the Challenger level, the top 25 or 20 players will get a tier a 6-star artifact, and then the Vibranium will get a 5, and the Platinum will get a 4-star. And that way you basically say it gives players a reason to basically jump inside that game mode, continue to play that game mode, because they want a tier 4 artifact selector. And then you can put other material inside there as well to basically, hype it up more, whether it's tier 4 material, tier 3 material, or it's something else of the like. I would love to see a Danger Room Extreme return where we get tiered rewards based on this, and then something akin to having the team up collections, which have been introduced in the game, and we seemingly are going to probably end up with we're going to end up with more of these, where you get the Guardians of the Galaxy inside here. You're going to end up with some more of the characters inside the game, some more of the team ups inside here, probably in the future Fantastic Four, those characters by and large basically being introduced. So I would love to see Danger Room Extreme return, and I would love to see the rewards tagged onto those things return. I would love to see dispatch missions basically get an overhaul in terms of rewards, because like dispatch missions are just terrible as hell. I don't really find a whole lot of reason to run dispatch missions. It's a great way to get at artifacts, but it's just time consuming and requires too much for the reward system that it currently has inside there. So I would like to see that initiated in a different way with a different reward system inside here. I think it's probably, did I say dispatch missions? I mean dimension rifts. Like essentially the low volume of celestial essence that you're getting from here versus, you know, these bullshit rewards that you get. And it doesn't change whether it's mythical or not, because getting access to, you know, getting access to her doesn't make very much sense. Like this should probably be like, you know, something better than, you know, her like sitting inside here. Like that's just the truth of the matter. Like these rewards really need to be reworked, and it's something that we could do to incentivize people to be playing more dimension rifts, because then we can say like, hey, it's not the artifact of this character I'm getting, but we can start sitting other 4-star artifacts inside here to incentivize getting more celestial essence, so that way you have the opportunity to get more artifacts to level up your characters and play. That's all I'm saying, is like the reward system in the game needs to be reworked, so that way, you know, we're incentivized to play game elements and more, because we want to keep playing in the game. That's the whole point of it, right? So now I have reason to get tier 4s, maybe, you know, at certain levels inside inside of the dimension rifts, we basically have the ability to just use certain characters to, at any one given time or any one given week. And so we go inside the dimension rifts, and you basically have to have these characters, and of those characters that we're using, whether they're tier 4 or whatever, those characters artifacts are basically sitting in here. So now on like a weekly rotation basis, you can basically say like T4 characters are basically being introduced, and for utilizing those tier 4 characters inside the game, you have the ability or the probability of getting their level 4 artifact inside of here. So maybe at normal we just get normal artifacts. Advanced, you get some crappy artifacts. At 3, we get some of like maybe the free-to-play characters and stuff like that. At heroic, we get essentially some more of the like free-to-play tier 2 type characters. At legendary, that's where we start to see some of the, you know, tier 4 characters that are basically coming in, or, you know, tier 3 characters that have received them. And then at mythical level, you can basically say like, hey, guess what? I got tier 4 characters, use these tier 4 characters, and using these tier 4 characters inside this dimension rifts basically equates to a percentage chance of you getting the artifacts from there. And that's the way it should work. But dimension rifts could be something that is really overworked and reintroduced, along with giving us something for like the return of Danger Room, and then having that as another ability for us to collect team up collection coins and dimension and artifacts inside of there, you know, per rewarding basis on a weekly. And we can get selectors, because that one requires a lot more time, and it has elements of both PvE and PvP, because it can be specific to tier 4 characters inside there. These are the gameplay reworks that will help out free-to-play players and pay-to-play players and keep players engaged in the game, because the rewards are giving you ways to build out your characters more. Is this gonna, like, it's always going to be this system where you're going to be able to have the pay-to-play players are going to try to be able to get ahead because of the systems. But as long as those players are working inside the system, they're staying with the game, and they are incentivized to purchase more, then fine. That gives free-to-play players an incentive to basically do that too, because you can still say like at heroic levels, guess what? You're still having the access to certain levels of T3 characters and their artifacts, and those characters could potentially have tier 4s in the future. And, you know, legendary will have a separate set of characters, and mythical would have a separate set of characters. And so now you all have the ability to play at getting these characters and getting their tier 4s basically on a usage rotation. And basically now this encompasses our entire roster and ways for us to play. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. I'm going to probably do a separate video, because I've been thinking about the game modes that they have inside here for a while, and how they could be reworked in terms of rewards to basically incentivize us, the players, to jump in the game more and feel like we should be completing the content. But let me know what you guys think. Until next time, peace.